Hello, Renee Flamond here. I've always told you that if I ever think of something that helped me, if I read something that helped me, if I discover something, learn something, make something up, who cares, right? I'm joking. What I give you is everything that I've learned. But honestly, anything that any of us give each other, it helps. We read quotes of each other's in the comments. It might help you a certain way. Somebody put something might help you. So here's another one of those topics that I had a really big problem with, this aspect of it, rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected. I mean, it's like when people say, oh, but I really hate needles. Like if somebody has to get a shot or something. But I really hate, oh yeah, because we all love it. Like there are some things that I think universally people have a hard time with, and rejection is one of those things. So a huge part, I know for me, and with everything that I've learned and with hearing everything from you, a huge part of the burden we carry is the rejection, the absolute impossible to carry weight of the rejection caused by the narcissist. I mean, this isn't just walking across the dance floor in the high school gym asking somebody to dance and they say no kind of rejection. This is a repeated build you up, bring you down, reject you. Build you up, bring you down, reject you. Get your hopes up, bring you down, reject you. Special kind of rejection torture. But my question that I started to think of it is, there's a lot that's missing for it to be true rejection. Is it really rejection if pardon me, if the narcissist, it was like a half hiccup, half, I don't even know what that was. If the narcissist is incapable, is it rejection? Because rejection connotes a choice. It doesn't connote it. It is denotatively, that's what it means if you look it up. It is choice, choosing, right? That's what it is. But it was never going to work out with the narcissist. Ever. Nothing happened. He didn't change and reject you. No. They didn't fall out of love with us and reject us. No, it all began as a part of a cycle that was going to unfold as it did. I want to make sure everyone, because I've become very clear on this, but it took a long, long time. And when I say that, I mean over a year. It's a cycle. Picture it from love bombing to the end. It's a cycle. They're going to go through the cycle with every person. So if that's the case, that they're predestined to have that, is it rejection? They're not rejecting us. That's their cycle, is to devalue and go through and then reject somebody. Action rejection, not in their mind, heart, and body. And so I don't know that we should take offense to it if they're incapable of choosing us to begin with. There's more. He's coming off, when he's wooing us, the previous cycles ending with the last one. You were the new, we are the new that they were seeking, as he is now doing to somebody else. We just didn't know that we were part of a cycle, and it felt very real. I understand that. So the rejection part feels very real. But it helped me to realize that I began not to feel so rejected. Because you can't just get rejected, you have to feel rejected. And vice versa. So if he didn't reject us, we shouldn't feel rejected, and that alleviated a lot of weight off me. And I'm going to explain it. I know I'm kind of all over the place. But there has to be something else present for it to be rejection. Not picking you is rejection. There's a choice involved. They don't make a choice. They didn't choose to have this cycle. The cycle's built into them. They didn't change their mind about us. They didn't choose to reject you. That part's missing. It's not a choice to them. It's their behavior. They just follow the behavioral cycle each time. And it was within the cycle that we were going to be rejected. In order for there to be an act of pushing someone away, which is rejection defined, if you look that up, which there's a lot on rejection. You can find about as much on rejection that you can on forgiveness. And everyone has their take on it. But it's essentially there has to be somebody from whom... There had to have been somebody from whom you were pushed away, but you were never even with the narcissist, truly, in their hearts and mind and being. So we shouldn't feel bad or sad in that regard. We weren't rejected. Actually, the definition, I have one that I found, explains their behavior. I think they walk around life feeling rejected, like a reject, and they can't get close to anybody. And that's part of the reason for their cycle. Listen to this definition. It's fast. What does rejection mean to a person? This explains the narcissist. Social rejection increases anger, anxiety, depression, jealousy, and sadness. We know they're filled with all of those things. It reduces performance on difficult intellectual tasks and can also contribute to aggression and poor impulse control. DeWalt, Current Directives in Psychological Science, 2011. This explains the narcissist. I think they walk around feeling rejected like a reject, so they automatically have this ingrained in them, and that's going to protect them. I don't think they're consciously afraid to get close because they'll get hurt. I don't think it translates in their brain that way. I think that we can assess from the childhood trauma or idolization that led them to having this disorder. We know it makes them isolated. We know they don't feel connected or tethered to anything. All of those things have been reported on and researched and talked about for decades. And we also know that part of the cycle with every single person that they have is to go through this rejection action process, which is pathetically sad for them because they will never have a happy ending. But I don't think that we should burden ourselves with feeling rejected from people who can't choose you to begin with. Do you know what I mean? It made me feel better. I'm like, I don't feel rejected. I'm considering the source of the rejection. Action. I'm going to split them up. Because the action is certainly rejection. If they discarded you, that's a rejection in a way. But not even. No, rejection means they chose to not be with you any longer. And it's the act of pushing someone away. Yes, they push us away with their acts, but they're not choosing to push us away. It was coming whether or not. I don't think they have any control, as we know, over when their cycle starts or stops. I'm sure it's different and varies for each person. But they know it's coming. There's no choice in the matter. I don't think they ever go into it thinking, oh, wow, this is the one. Maybe for a millisecond, but as soon as they start with the lying and the cheating, they've got to know deep down inside that it's not a real relationship or a bona fide situation. So they've already pushed you away. You didn't know it. They don't even know why they did it. They just consider it that they play around. But do you see what I'm saying? I really think that we should feel better about it. I don't think it can be considered rejection if they don't have a choice. And you might say, well, he stayed with that one for 10 years. Just because they're married for 10 years does not mean the narcissist chose that person or isn't rejecting that person. Every time they step out on that person is going to feel this rejection, this weight that just crushes all of us. And this is my attempt to try to look at it in a different light. And I know I tripped over my words because I'm trying to make you understand what I mean. It's like you can't feel it was always going to work out that way regardless of who you are. It had nothing to do with you, him falling out of love with you, rejecting you that way, him changing, not wanting to be with you anymore that way. You didn't do anything. You're the same solid person you were when he met you. It was going to happen anyway. It's their cycle to do it. So I'm going to start thinking of it not as rejection. No, I wasn't rejected by... You can't get rejected by somebody that doesn't have the wherewithal to make their own choices. I mean, come on. They're led by the emotional, as we know, maturity of a toddler. They're led by the behavioral dictatorship of this disorder. That's hardly somebody who's exercising free will and making choices, which is what is involved. Pardon me again. Which is what is involved with rejection. You're choosing to push somebody away. You can't even get a straight answer out of the narcissist when they make a misstep. Oh, I don't know. They try to explain it. They backtalk. They double talk. They word salad. They lie. They can't even explain their own behavior or why they would step out on what seemingly was a perfectly little happy life. It happens all the time. People are perfectly happy and the narcissist just steps out because it's time. And one thing could have set it off for that person. Again, it's different for every single person they're going to be with. It just depends on our personality, the circumstances, his life at the time. Is he angry? Is he happy? Is he sad? Is he miserable? It's all to do with their cycle. So I just want to start thinking about that differently. And this is our 301st video. So I feel like we're starting the next 300. So here's to all of us that we're all still here. I thank you so much. I love making these, and I think that we're all going to be a community for a long time.